Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Master Grade SD Gundam Aerial from the Witch from Mercury. This right here is the fourth in what has been a spectacular line of Gundam model kits. These are Master Grade at heart, SD in size, and so far every single one of these has been an absolute masterpiece and an absolute winner. However, the weirdest thing about this particular one right here, the Master Grade SD Gundam Aerial, is this is the first Master Grade of Aerial. That is mind-blowing. It got a Master Grade SD before an actual Master Grade. The other three have gotten Master Grades, this one hasn't. Anyway, this right here is a kit with a whole lot going on, just as spectacular as the ones we've seen so far. It's an interesting build with a really cool gimmick around the shell units. But yeah, that's enough of a bit of an intro. If you do want one of your own, I got mine right here through Hobby Link Japan. Now let's wind back the clock and get this thing built. So when it comes to the Master Grade SD Gundam Aerial right here, it comes in the exact same size and style box we would have seen with the previous three releases, being Freedom, Gundam Barbatos, and Gundam Wing EW. On the sides of the box we have all the information about what we're going to be seeing once we get this out and built, like all the unique, very nice articulation that's in here, the accessories that are in here, which is beam sabers, beam rifle, and the escutcheon shield, and we do have some cool gimmicks included, as well as one of the nicest, well, without a doubt definitely the nicest, shell unit color changing systems we've seen to date in a Witch from Mercury kit. Finally, on the other side then, it shows what this kit will look like if you build it as just the inner frame, so it does have a full Master Grade inner frame, and what it will look like with the armor on. On cracking open the box in here, you get enough plastic befitting a mini Master Grade that is 11 colored runners in total. We've got one effect runner which is, well, stolen right from the high grade, so it's just some high grade effects in here that still look good. And we do have a sheet of sticker style decals as well. When it comes to the A1 runner in here, the colors are broken down into a blue, a yellow, a sort of metallic injection red for the shell units, and some smoky clear pieces for, again, over those shell units. When you go to the A2 runner, it's pretty much the same again, but in here we do have the clear green parts for the cool Master Grade SD style clear effects. And also included here is the shell units, once again, just in a metallic injection blue. So blue and red included in box. Besides that then, it's the grays for the inner frame, whites for the armor. We do have a light gray shade of armor in here, giving it a little bit of a real grade flair. And in Master Grade SD fashion, we do have a metallic silver injection runner too, which adds to the premium look. So overall, just like we would have seen from the line so far with the last three releases, this is an impressive looking kit. The build is very, very nice, easy to do. I did kind of make a couple of mistakes on one leg because I spent more attention to filming than building, but overall it's not too bad. Some nice gimmicks, builds up nicely, and the finished kit looks like this right here with no panel lining, no decals, no nothing. And it's got those magnificently expressive Master Grade SD eyes. So as usual, I won't be following the manual exactly. I will be starting the build from the ground up, starting with the legs, so I've got something standing on the desk while I build. The legs in here look fantastic. The color separation is great. Like I said, we've got two shades of white, a light gray and a pure white. We've got all the nice color separation of the yellow sections in the vents, the gray in the feet, as well as on the bottom of the feet. Overall looking great. The shell units on here look exceptionally nice. They could be a little bit more reflective inside, I guess, if you wanted that sort of look. They do open up just like so to replace the parts easily, which is cool. And when it does come to the articulation, this moves nicely. Nice knee bend, nice knee moving parts. The articulation on the foot means you're going to get some nice flight poses as well as good crouch poses too, as you do have a bend at the toe and a lot of articulation at the ankle. Impressive so far. You start the build down at the foot, so you build the ankle joint first, which is the little kind of drum ankle we've seen on these particular designs. Builds up out of three parts. For the drum, the central aspect is two sections, then you start adding some color on straight away. That is the red and white of the heel. Now in order to put these two sections together, this is a keyhole locking mechanism, which is all over this kit, which is always nice. Next you start building in the toe, and you've got multiple points of articulation here. Simple pegs, but they do so much. Some more armor then comes on from below, color separated gray for the sole of the foot, and then you start adding on more armor in white, red, and then the ankle armor like so. Not a lot of building, great payoff. Foot finished. The build of the leg is very, very nice. It's not very simple at all, and definitely not old school Master Grade. You build up one half of the lower leg first, add in some of the moving parts like this sliding gimmick onto one half of the build. You'd then immediately go to building the moving knee gimmick section, which includes one of the cool yellow vents. This is a whole lot of moving parts. attaches into an exterior knee section, and this is where I kind of screwed up the build, so there isn't really a whole lot of footage of this, but it does slot into the leg really nicely. I forgot to, so I have to go back and do it later. Simple hip joint in here, again keyhole locking mechanism. You slot in the shell unit just like so. This is a cool gimmick. It slots in from above, and then the panel closes just like so. You just do the opposite to switch out the other shell unit. Upper leg armor attaches on side and side. This is the point then we add on the light grey armor to break up that sea of white, and it all finishes off with a knee section just like so. There are both legs. There's a lot of building inside of these, some great moving mechanisms, and the only thing that makes me a little bit on the sad side is that we didn't get to see this in 1/100 full scale. Moving on up aerial to the underpants right here, and these are a little bit more intricate than you'd actually expect, especially because all the aerials have been fairly simple so far. We've got two side skirts that move up and down simply, ball jointed front skirting, so they do what ball joints do. Inside of the hips right here, first off, we do have a nice sliding mechanism at the ab crunch section, so you can actually see just above there where it actually can slide forward and back, which is nice. We do have dropping hip mechanisms too, so these little pegs can slide up and down so you can get more out of your kicks. Inside of the waist unit right here, this builds up nicely. We've got two moving sections which attach into one half like this, both of which are for two different hard points. The ab crunch beginnings here is very impressive. We've got a barrel style side to side movement section which attaches together like so. This attaches into the main body for that forward and back slide I mentioned a second ago. Also, like I mentioned a second ago, we do have those up and down moving hips which attach in like this, and then both sides of the waist unit just slap together like a sandwich. This side skirting armors just slot up simply into the waist section just like so, and that slaps onto what we just built. When it comes to the side skirting armors, these are nice. We've got some of that silver plastic attaching into the back of the armor. You build up this little moving section right here. This is so the full front skirting segment can move forward, up and down. You attach the ball joints into the central aspect, and this just slaps onto the back of them, and that attaches then into the waist unit. We've got some red Gundam corset which comes down from the top, a bit of white color separation which is that light grey in from below, and then some armor on the back and the front. So reasonably simple, but you get a great payoff. Slapping on the legs now, and this is what it looks like when the full pair of Gundam pants is put together. So we're almost halfway there. So moving up now to the chest unit, and this has always been one of my favorite Gundam chest units because it always has a little bit of a, well, a Digimon, like Vmon kind of look to it, like a face. Once again, just as detailed as we would have seen before, nice shell units in the chest. When it comes to moving parts, the shoulders are very intricate with a lot of movement, so they can move out from the body, point upwards just like so. And one really cool aspect about this is we do have a fully opening cockpit. There is no Suletta in there, by the way, no pilot figure, but there is a molded chair and an actual moving upper section and door to it, which is very, very nice touch. A bit of a master grade staple, I guess. Starting off impressively with a nice neck which attaches up from below like so and slides on into the white armor. You move on into the inner body with this grey section, attach these two little segments in here like so. The beginnings of the cockpit is here, so you just slot that in like this. The ab crunch ball joint then pops on in like that, and then you sandwich those two parts together. You continue on building the chest then by attaching this into one side panel like so. The neck and the upper cockpit hatch in yellow attach on into this, and once again we just sandwich everything together with a mirrored piece. Next up is the intricate shoulder joint. So this is a series of little pieces. That's a peg into a hole, into a peg into a hole. You add a bit of blue armor up top for some detail, and then it's peg into a hole again for 3 moving points, not including the actual shoulder barrel itself. Next up, you add some of that silver plastic into the mix. The collar section attaches down from above. You add the door to the moving cockpit now, and a little bit of white color separation with the light grey pieces which attach on like so. Popping some yellow into the mix again, this just attaches onto the front like this, a blue little segment onto that, and that is when you get onto the shell unit. So you attach the red shell sections in, or should I say the red permit sections in like so, and just stack the clear section on top like this. Then you add in the 2 blue side armor sections and then the rear armor panel like this. There you go, that is the body done. Again, a whole lot going on in here. Opening cockpit, lots of ab crunch movement, a moving neck, and once you do get this onto the legs like so, you can really see the Master Grade SD Gundam Aerial coming together. Moving to the build now, we've got the arms and the shoulders, so just as intricate as everything we've seen so far. On the shoulder, we do have a shell unit gimmick that is an opening closing panel like so to get to the permit inside. Shuts closed like this. We do have 2 moving armor panels on the shoulder unit itself. When it comes to the arm, we've got rotation at the upper arm, a beautiful 2-point elbow bend, and we do have what is almost like classic master grade hands with the articulated fingers. It's what we've seen throughout the line so far. However, the grip for the weapons in here is quite unique. The build starts at the elbow, so that is a simple peg into a hole sandwiched together just like this. You then build the shoulder joint, which is your usual gunpla 3-point, or should I say 3-piece shoulder joint. This then slots uniquely and tightly into what we just built. You hold this all together with 2 panels of white armor. Moving down to the forearm now, you've got the elbow joint, which slots in almost sideways and then rotates up. A little bit of light gray armor to break up the white, another light gray section for the wrist, and then it all attaches together with the 2 side panels in white once again. Next, we're moving on to the hands, and these once again are kind of like classic, or should I say mid-range, 2000s master grade hands. So that is 3 fingers are attached together, only by 2 ball joints by the way, so you can't actually separate all the fingers. An index finger and a thumb are separate, a back panel holds these all together, and then you've got a wrist joint which does move. Starting off the shoulders straight away with a bang with that nice metallic silver plastic. We've got 1 panel of moving white flap, 2 more white panels then attach on, letting some of that silver plastic through to the surface. A nice mechanical grey section then slots onto it, which is the foundation for 2 more white parts for the next shoulder flap. Next up, we're building the core unit section, which involves sliding in the red permit stuff like so. The clear shell unit then slides in from the side for that sliding gimmick, and then this locks into position with a white piece of armor from above. You can then throw this shoulder armor directly onto the arm, and then you just pop both arms onto the body once again with those keyhole locking mechanisms. So the arms have to be pointing backwards like so. You attach them on and then turn them downwards in order to lock them into position, and there we go, pretty much most of the way through. Next up, we're moving around to the back, and one thing I did not expect is to be blown away by how cool the backpack is in here. First off, the way the beam sabers attach is by these unique balls up top. They're not your usual kind of ball, but they give you a whole lot of movement and expression to where the beam sabers are. On top of that, we do have more ball joints when it comes to the side panels on here, so these move around expressively as well in ways we've never seen yet. And to make matters even more impressive, there's joints up in the upper sections of these aspects as well, which tilt them side to side. So the whole thing almost feels almost insectoid in its movement. It's really cool. And if that wasn't cool enough already, the shell unit here is super simple and effective. It's just a panel that lifts up, opens out, and then you can replace the permit section inside of it, well, super easily. This is an incredible backpack. Kudos, Bandai, kudos. When you're building this, you start with the central aspect, that's the grey section on the inside. Blue armor attaches on from the side. Clear shell unit attaches into this. Blue section sandwiches together. Then you throw your metallic red permit in here and close it all up. Next up, we're building these side sections. You build 2 of these. They're mirror images of each other. So you've got your grey section like so, slap on your blue part like this, and then the yellow thruster section slides in from below. Then you build the upper unit section, which has this really cool ball joint. It's not your usual kind of ball. It has a little bit of nice detail running up it. It slots into the socket like so, and locks in with a blue armor panel. On the underside of this, we do have a peg, and that's what attaches it into the main side body section like this. Next up, you build the beam sabers, which seem to me almost pointlessly detailed. This involves 2 C-clips. The bottom one attaches in like this, the top one then locks it into position. Kind of seems a little bit like it didn't need that much detail. Anyway, then you all attach everything that you just built, and you've got an impressive backpack. Attaches onto Aerial just by popping it on like so. And all we've left on Aerial is the head. So the last part of Aerial we're going to be building is the head. This is what it looks like finished, and man is it impressive. When it comes to SDs, they've always had incredible looking heads, but the master grade SD line has pushed it even further. We've got some silvered parts. You can see silvered parts as well through the actual clear lenses of the eyes, which really makes that light bounce. Besides that, shell unit looking good, overall great detail. You start off this build with the back side of the interior of the head. You throw your first clear section, which is the head camera, in like this. Grabbing the front of the face, you slot in both cheek yellow vents. Next up, you swing that joint in underneath the head just like so. It locks on and then swings and flips up into the neck hole. Onto the impressive eyes next, you lay the foundation by attaching in the silver sections. The eye mask part then attaches in on top of that. Then you have to pop the 2 little green lenses into this. This is actually easier than you'd expect. You just kind of slide it in sideways, moving outwards, and they just lock on in impressively. Moving down to the mouth muzzle, the white section attaches on first, then you attach the red Gundam beard upwards from below. From here on, you're just armoring the head, so you throw on the front and rear white armor. Shell units next. Red section on the inside, clear section on the outside. You attach on the aerial bunny ears next, left and right. Another little silvered section goes under the V-fin like this. And that means when you pop the V-fin on, you do get a little bit of silvered popping through. And the same goes when you add on the red central section as well. You get a little bit of that silver popping through as well. There you go. Impressive. The detail is off the charts. And by popping this onto the Master Grade SD Gundam Aerial, it's finally finished. And again, these are so impressive. There are some accessories in here as well, including the most detailed escutcheon we've seen to date. So when it does come to the accessories in here, first up is the beam rifle, and this is super simple. You just take one half of the rifle, throw in the color separated white sight section up top. We've got this little peg section which attaches through. This goes on both sides, so there's two of these, and then you attach both sides together. It's that simple. Now the escutcheon in here is a completely different story entirely. This is so detailed. You're sliding little grey, sliding gimmick sections into the white and blue armor. There's many C-clip moving pegs, layering upon layering of armor, more little C-clip pegs, more layering of armor. We've got nice details on here, including the vents color separated in yellow, and a lot of gray sections again sliding into position. What these will actually be used for is the actual transformation aspects, as well as the separating aspects and the bit-on forms, all of which have the actual technical moving parts inside of them. Once you actually put all of these pieces together, build everything up just like it was built up, it's time to put all these bit staves together into the actual escutcheon. I'm not going to get into that too much right here, I'm going to save that for the actual review, but you basically slide a lot of the little moving internal aspects to get them into the right position, so you actually have pegs for attaching the pieces together. The locking mechanisms are very, very impressive in here, and out of all the escutcheons we've seen so far, this is the most technically sound. Everything just works out well, there's no platform you have to build everything onto, it's just the actual parts with moving mechanics inside of them, and everything just works out perfectly. And there we go, there it is complete. The Master Grade SD Gundam Aerial, out of box built, no extra effort whatsoever. No panel lines, no decals, no top coat, nothing like that just yet. If you're going to straight build this is what you're going to get, and the payoff here is obscenely good. The proportions are so fun, it's almost like the NX Edge collectible minifigures. It's not as SD as a classic SD, but it's not fully proportioned either. Aesthetically, we've got everything going on in here. We've got matte plastics, we've got some shiny plastics, we've got metallics when it comes to the shell units, the nice little technical silver parts that come from underneath to the surface, two shades of grey. All the venting here is color accurate, and not a single color correcting sticker to be seen at all. The best aspect by far in my opinion, and it's been the best throughout this line entirely, and that is the absolutely beautiful eyes. The kind of metallic behind clear green just reflects and looks so full of personality. One thing I will mention though that I do kind of miss a little bit in this particular kit is those cool honeycomb plastics that we've seen in the first three releases. That's Freedom, Barbie, and Wing are not present in this kit. So those cool kind of, I'll throw them up on the screen so you can actually see them. Basically, Bandai had a new style of clear part for this particular line that had a honeycomb structure inside the clear parts, so you got so much shining and reflection of all the different facets inside of there that it just looked like nothing else. Now this isn't present in this kit at all. I guess they kicked it for the kind of shell units. They are metallic inside, but they don't really pop that much. It would have been nice to see something at least as reflective as the metallic silver sections. They do look a little bit on the kind of flaccid side, a little bit, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, as always, make sure to come back for the review. I'll make sure to get the decals on, get this lined up. If you do have any questions you do want answered in that review, throw them down there in the comments. I'll try to get to them if I can, and until then, I'll see you next time. It wouldn't be the end of the video without special thanks to each and every single one of you guys for watching my videos, and special thanks to the channel members and the members over on Patreon, including Caleb, Engelhardt, Joe, RG59061, Scotty Thomas, Simon, and Van Fawn.